Today we're at Cactus High School for the Arizona Robotics League. Last season, the Arizona Diamondbacks Foundation and Honeywell invested in this playing surface that you see behind me to give first robotics teams in Arizona a chance to practice their skills during their off season. And to come and see it today is absolutely incredible.
The Arizona Robotics League is a place where teams can maximize the use of their resources because it is a free event. All teams get to participate for free, and this is all thanks to our sponsors like the Arizona Diamondbacks and Honeywell.
We are hoping that these events combined with our regular season stuff really inspires the community to keep their programs around for a longer period of time, and we can overall grow STEM in Phoenix and all of Arizona.
Hello. We're live. How's everyone doing? Welcome to the last ARL Extra Innings show of the 2023 season. You all, I believe, by now know me. My name is Luke. I am one of your ARL program directors, a mentor on 498. I am often seen here on this Twitch channel recapping the event and previewing the event. Honestly, y'all, it's been a little while. We just been so busy that we kind of skipped right over the preview show for the championship, which I was sad about. I like doing this show. I like getting to interact with all of you, and so I was out of town. Actually, I didn't even realize I was out of town, so I missed the warm-up show. And then last week, deep in the preparation for 498's California trip, so really kind of just skipped right on over. So all that said, hello everyone, welcome to the Extra Innings show. Just a week late, plus a day, Thursday. Hope everyone's having an awesome week and has had an awesome, I guess, week and a half. Kind of, almost 2 weeks since the ARL Championship. Hope you all remember that awesome event because we're going to talk about it a little bit. How's everyone doing? Everyone doing okay? You can see in the chat we've linked all of our relevant links that you'll need to know. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and our Discord. As of just this evening, if you go to the YouTube, all of the match videos are uploaded. So if you want to watch any of the matches back, or you want to watch them as we talk about them tonight, certain ones, relive your finest moment or your darkest hour. Is that their phrase? You can go ahead on over to the YouTube and check out those matches. Sorry they took so long to get online. Again, the back-to-back-to-back competitions really took a toll on the free time, so sorry they took so long, but they are up now, so head on over to the YouTube, check them out. Yes, actually, Evie, that is one of my topics to hit on right now. If you ordered cards, please make sure you've checked your email. We are gathering preference for distribution of those cards, if you want them mailed or to pick them up. Check your email. Email was sent out. If you haven't gotten an email, we might need to connect a different way. We emailed everyone all the emails we had on the Google form. So they're on their way. We're really sorry about not having them. Okay. All right, we'll double check all the emails then. We have them all in hand. So basically that email says we have them all in hand. We are just waiting on distribution. So, sorry they weren't ready for the event itself. There was more than a couple last-minute headaches and snafus getting them printed, if you can believe it. So they were just not quite ready on time, but they are ready now and they look awesome. So we're looking forward to getting them out to everyone. Okay. So ARL 2023, huh? Another one in the books, year 2. I figured maybe we chat for a little bit. Yeah, why don't you go ahead and post their email in the Discord? Or if you post your Twitch handle maybe in the Discord, then we can know who to DM. We want to try to avoid DMs as much as possible, but we can create a new channel in the server so that you can make sure we get your cards for sure. So I thought we'd spend a little bit in the beginning talking about ARL 2023 as a whole, and kind of the successes and maybe some of our pain points that we're going to focus on for next season, which I guess, spoiler alert, we do plan to come back. We do plan to be back in 2024, so get ready for that. We found that the sooner you can schedule with your coaches or with your students, the better. We plan to be back for the same months that we ran events this year. So 2024, that'll be May, June, July, August, September, and October for the championship. We had our highest number of teams participate this year, which is awesome. And we had our highest number of robots participate this year, which is doubly awesome. We played roughly, could be off by a couple, 207 total matches this season, which is crazy to think about. 207 matches with 145-ish quals, and the rest limps. This is including champs. So when you break that down, so one of the, if you've been watching this show for a while, since last season, when we were we talked for a while about why we started Arizona Robotics League and kind of the mission behind it. One of those big reasons is we wanted to add value, like physically, like not physically, I suppose, but monetary value to robotics programs, FRC programs in Arizona. And so if you kind of if you break it down by registration cost for a regional, your first one, and how many matches you're guaranteed, right, for that cost, it's really expensive. I won't go into specifics, but it's very expensive, right? If you only play 10 matches at that regional, you pay $6,000. You can do the math, right? It's really expensive. So it's hard to A, get funding, and B, if teams are struggling, it's hard to justify that funding, right? Year on year, right? Year after year. So one of the goals of ARL is to elongate that. So when you're pitching to a sponsor, your school, whatever, that instead of saying we can do, instead of saying that you have at least 10 matches for $6,000 or whatever, you can say we had 70 for $6,000, right? In theory. So I believe we've more than accomplished that goal. Evie, I'm going to have, put your Twitch handle in the Discord and we'll sort it. Okay. Yeah, please. We'll get it settled. Thank you. So we've kind of more than accomplished that goal, which I'm very excited about. So we're going to continue, obviously, into 2024. Some of our pain points include being more consistent, right? So if the goals for the first year were to survive and the goals for the second year were to grow, our goals for year 3 is going to be about consistency, right? We're trying to still set kind of our, it's going to be our setting our framework for forever, right? Survive, grow, and then be consistent. So things like our workshop series, which we only got one off the ground this season, that sucks. It's unfortunate, right? Being more consistent with how we're using the media, the awesome media we're getting at events, being more consistent with our other Twitch shows, more consistent on practice day, right? Timing wise, there's a lot of things little things that can go wrong, and maybe from a wide perspective, the events are great and they're awesome, but from like a micro perspective, micro perspective, there are a lot of things that we could do better as an organization, so we're on top of it. So some of the changes you can think on that we might be looking at for 2024, including fully eliminating the inspection process. I know that for a lot of the events, right? If teams are not getting there on Friday till, for the early load-in till, 7, if they have to still go through inspection, that kind of is all their time gone. So what's the point of coming Friday? And then on the same token, if people are loading in on Saturday, having to get through inspection, if there's a lot of teams that show up on Saturday, right, then things get kind of jammed, and we might not get fully through inspections before matches, and either we have to delay matches, or teams don't make their first match, or it's a whole big rush. So we're planning to still offer. This is all in beta, right? We're still discussing this, but the idea would be that we'd still offer the full inspection if you opt into that, if that's something you want to practice with your teammates or with your students, and with an inspector, you can opt into a full inspection. And if you don't do that, we'll just take the approach that a lot of the California off seasons take, where it's kind of just a quick visual safety inspection. Maybe let us know if you've added something new, but we're going to trust everyone that you haven't done anything egregious, and you're still playing within the rules. So we're still kicking that around. Definitely will be safety inspections in a way, right? We're still going to look everything over, ask you if you've added anything. But if you haven't added anything and it's been a month, then we're not going to go through the whole process again, unless you would like to, right? Unless it's something you want to practice. So that's something we're looking at. That was a pain point of 2023 that we're looking at for 2024. Yeah, no more 6-motor drive. That's exactly right. My robot frames can't survive anymore. Don't have FTAs hurting devices. Uh-oh. I feel like that's targeted. Yeah, definitely. So a couple on the volunteer front. Our one of our goals, right? Our secondary goal of ARL is to better prepare volunteers for the regular season. And so part of that is opening up opportunities to volunteers that don't normally get to run them, right? Because if there's only 2 regionals a year, there's only 2 spots for that volunteer position a year, right? So that's part of the goal. Something that we're moving towards in 2024 is to require almost all volunteers to come on Friday in key positions so that proper training can be done. So that's something to look at, or we're going to look at as well, for sure. And then another big pain point is being more consistent on our social media. We are actively looking for someone to take that on. It's just a little bit too much for us to run while also running the event. Kind of need a dedicated person there to run in between. So those are all, those are few of the many things we're looking at in 2024. Just want everyone to know and rest assured that we are not just going to fall back on, and sit on our butts and just say, like, we're just going to run it back again and everything's hunky-dory. We recognize that we're still in a growing phase, and we're still working out a lot of the kinks. But we have a great team of people, a great team of key volunteers behind the scenes who are awesome, and honestly, they're bringing so much to the table month in and month out that I'm very excited for next season already. And you can already see that we iterated on. So if you're going to go through in safety inspection, and if between events you don't add anything, then we're probably going to hop right on over your inspection, right? So there won't be anything random on a robot that'll whack you, because if there was, then that would have been added and it'll go through safety inspection. So rest assured, no robots will make contact on the field with other things, with other people. Maybe other robots, surely other robots, but other people. I don't know. So you can see some of the improvements we made at the ARL Championship. I know, I'm sure everyone can agree. A pain point of the season were the ARL Alliance selection process. Protect referee stands too. Yep, I'm there. The Alliance selection process, the show itself, we're gonna I'm personally gonna take a really hard look at in the off season, like before ARL starts next season. and we're going to have a much more rigidized and foolproof way of doing it. We actually had a really nice way of doing it, and then it was really just internet breakdown on my end that was causing the buffering issue. So we're just going to refine that a little bit, and it's going to work really well for next season. I hope everyone. Tied in with a kind of an announcement. If your team got a giveaway, which I believe every single team got a giveaway. Yeah. Okay. So. I'm gonna fix the overlays, obviously, between last season and this season. I edited the overlays a bit, so I'm gonna edit the Twitch overlays a little bit for next season as well, so you'll be able to see the full chat. It drives me a little crazy too, just haven't had time to adjust them. Yeah, I can actually. Oh, that's the wrong way. I want this one. Would you rather see the bottom? We could do that way. So now you can't see the top, and now you can at least see the bottom, the most recent thing. So the giveaways, I thought the giveaways were a massive success again this year. I'm really hoping everyone gets full use out of those. If you got a giveaway, if you were awarded a giveaway and don't know what to do, please follow up in the Discord about it. I just want to make sure everyone got theirs. I believe everyone has gotten their actual code. So if you haven't gotten your actual code, follow up in the Discord. Cool. And then we're always looking to expand on some of the ideas that we got. We're always looking to expand some of our ideas. So please utilize the Discord. For like any ideas you may have to make the events even better. We are locked in by a few resources constraints, money, time, space, safety, etc. But we are always willing to entertain new ideas. So please feel free to suggest things in the Discord. It's kind of the purpose of it, to how we can make ARL better. And then along the same point, I put together, in my post in the announcements yesterday, I put out that we are looking, our next official ARL event will be Duel in the Desert, which is a week 0. And so I'm curious, so the actual week 0 is the February, I believe, 23rd, 24th. I believe, is that one of the options that I posted yesterday? Yeah. The official week 0 is February 23rd, 24th. We have the option to run the event on the 16th, the weekend of the 16th, 17th, instead. So for a team competing week 1, it might be better to have Duel in the Desert be not on the actual week 0, so that you have time to iterate. But I also recognize that it's really difficult to have something running at week 0, let alone before week 0. So we're kind of polling the audience on that one. If the 23rd or 24th is a more realistic date, or if we think that we could push it earlier and have it the 16th and 17th of February. So if you have any thoughts on that, I'd love to hear them. If you could maybe query your coaches or your teammates and think about that one, that would be great. We're still in the scheduling phase for that. But Duel in the Desert, our week 0 will be back. So yay. Okay. So the ARL Championship 2023. Congratulations to the award winners. The Iterative Design Award went to 1165. Well deserved. Actually, that'd be 4 wells. Well deserved on the Iterative Design Award. Basically, the definition, they built 4 different robots and continue to iterate on them throughout the season. The Most Valuable Robot Award going to 2403 for the 2nd year in a row. And it's honestly hard to argue that at all. They were consistently the top pick, right, at almost every event, and they consistently were finalists or winners at every event, right? So it's hard to refute that the most valuable robot for the second year in a row is 2403. So congrats to them. Congrats to our head ref Joshua for winning Volunteer of the Year. I know that maybe not everyone was in the gym during that award, and if you might not know this about Joshua, but he has actively flown in, like as a not in Arizona, flown in for several of the ARL events this year, just to head ref, and then that night fly out again. So if that's not Volunteer of the Year worthy, I don't know what is. Joshua's a rock star. We really appreciate his consistent presence, even though that means flying in for the event. So congrats to him. And then congrats to our winners and finalists for the event. The finals were a pleasure to be a part of, and I'm hoping a pleasure to watch from the stands. We had 2 series go to a best of 3, including a series that knocked the eventual winners down to the lower bracket. Like defense spot of the driver awards. Am I spacing out what driver awards? Like defense spot of the year or whatever. We had yeah. So that will be expand. So we're going to expand. We finally found an award making process that's sustainable and easy for us to do and not very expensive, right? So we're very excited about that. So we're actually going to expand awards again in 2024. We were going to do Defense Robot of the Year in 2023, but after looking at the full body of work of the season, we kind of landed on that most robots didn't dedicate themselves all the time to defense. So we were going to have a hard time awarding that award. All right, if I could rattle off some really great defense driving from the season, if we want, right? 45-65 was awesome. Some of the, Braden's exactly right. 45-65 was really great for tank. Some of our swerve with nothing on it were really, really effective because they are swerve. But almost everyone also took part in pushing game pieces across the field. So we felt a little bit weird about giving out Defense Spot of the Year because it wasn't like 2022 where there was like very dedicated, like this team only play defense all the time. So we are going to either, we might keep that award or we might modify it to be more of like driver based, like offense, defense, whatever. Or keep the defense one and add some others, unique ones, not similar to FRC. So there won't be like an FRC type award, or one that exists in FRC. But yes, the driver awards will make a return again in 2024. Now that we have this more sustainable process for creating the awards and acquiring them. So you guys should all know that playing defense is like my favorite thing. When I was a student, my first year doing robotics, I drove, and our robot on 1011 was only defense, like designed for defense, not like, oh, it was offense and then we were asked to play defense. Like we designed it from the ground up to be defense. So I'm like, I love defense. It comes so I'm always up for giving defense their due. It's not necessarily an easy thing to do, but it is an easy thing to mess up. So that'll be back in 2024 as well, assuming there's defense and it's not a 2015 situation. And we don't want that. We really don't want that. So congrats. What were some of y'all's favorite series? I thought some of the big highlights of the ARL Championship were the alliance builds themselves. One of the unique things about the championship, as I'm sure everyone can attest to, is that we select our teams ahead of time, right? So, just the week before ARL Champs, we had state, and some of the teams didn't look like they did at their last ARL event. They looked way, way, way better. And so maybe if we had done alliance selection after state, the alliances would have broken down differently, right? Shout out Aztec, right? Shout out Westwood Swerve. Like, they turned up at state, turned up at champs, but maybe the alliances were built such a way where they couldn't make it all the way, right? Aztec, super huge gold star like that. I missed state. I was out of town on a wedding, but the difference between August, September, and championship is super admirable. So I thought the alliance builds themselves are very interesting. I'll say that coming from the winning alliance, we lucked out super big. That 9991 fell to us. I feel like you can ask anyone on our alliance at our first alliance meeting on Discord. I boldly proclaimed that 9991 is going to be our MVP. And it was like, if we would do whatever we can for the 2 seed to enable 9991, and we'll do okay. And so they were awesome, right? Anything that we wanted them to do or needed them to do, they were more than willing. They came out several weeks in a row for practice, worked hard at home, and executed the day of. And honestly, it turned out to be true. Letting them fly around the field with the swerve bucket was a huge part of our alliance. And honestly, like I said, MVP for the winning alliance. Yeah, the red card was tough. The red card is tough. I didn't really have too much of a chance to talk to Joshua after the championship because again he had to go find an airplane. But I know it's a tough call and one that he really, really does not like to do. So yeah, it's always unfortunate when the red card comes out. I hope that he explained to both alliances, or at least the alliance that got the card, well, why it was given. And I trust that he did. Yeah, I hope that everyone got either a kick out of or a huge benefit from being able to work with your teammates a month in advance. I know I've said it on the show before, but it's like one of my favorite all-time things, and FRC was getting to do that in 2017, and so I think that it's one of the most unique things that ARL is bringing to the table, and I think it really, really can impact our community. I hope everyone benefited or at least got to utilize that a little bit. Okay, so should we watch some matches? I don't know. I kind of entered into this show a little bit of an open book. I've watched through each match again once because I was uploading them today. But since last Saturday, I haven't like deep dove too much on the strategy side of things. But we certainly can. I think maybe we could start with straight up, just start with match 1-1. I always think it's interesting to look at how alliances evolve their strategy over the course of the playoffs. So in this case, the 1 seed evolving between match 1 and the finals.
And here we are.
So let's do that. Let's take a look.
Down this very, very powerful red alliance. Here come the all Phantom Circuits to score a cube up high, and they do. The All Knights following behind them with the code. Coconuts over in their loading zone to grab a cone, and they have it, and they're headed back across the field. (17-36), red advantage with 80 seconds remaining in this first playoff match. Hard hit to center field by Koltek on 77-55. Looks like Koltek is just playing defense right now, not doing any scoring. All Knight's coming across the field with a cone. Hard hit on 2 wheels, and they land themselves right. Two links being scored for the Red Lions, 61-22 with 50 seconds remaining.
All right, who turned off the sound? Hello. I'm here now. Why'd that happen? Someone tell me. All right. Well, what I was saying was that 2486 did a great job filling the mid link. Now I'm loud. Yo. Okay. Turn me down. Better. Better now. Better now. Hello. Hello. Hi. We're watching playoffs 1-1. Hell yeah. All right. So, I think the 1 seed starts out. I see. Okay. No worries. What I was saying was I think the defender is playing a little bit too deep. So, I know obviously we're in retrospect, or the season's literally over. But in general, the deeper you play as a defender, the more opportunity you're giving the offensive robot to maneuver around you, right? You're opening up the field to them, right? And especially if you're a tank defender, your ability to keep up with them as they maneuver around is lessened a lot. So, you know, I think that maybe the defender here could have played a lot tighter on the community, and they would have benefited more there. But the 1 seed strategy in this first match is really interesting. They spend a lot of time filling the low links, right? Plasma nails these low links really good. I think they get almost two. They're leaving 1 here for later, or 2 here, sorry. They get at least 1, and then Plasma goes right to filling high links. As we progress throughout the competition, you can see that the 1 seed starts to kind of switch a little bit, and at least Plasma focuses on getting these high links done. Really smart here by the 1 seed, right? They recognize that they really don't need a triple balance. And Plasma kind of just goes to score their final cone, which they get. Oh, which they don't get. Very close. I think this is something that a lot of teams did, but not necessarily executed very well, was this idea that if we were in the lead, that we don't need a triple balance. But it's a trade-off, right? Because you also want to be able to triple balance, right? The more you triple balance with your team, the more like practiced you are, right? So now if we, let's jump ahead here to, oh boy, that's right, they rode the upper bracket, so the last one they played was 11-2. Yeah, here they are. So now let's jump ahead to, this is right before finals, because we're going to watch finals as well. So we're kind of starting in the middle of auto here, and we're playing, so the alliance on blue is our alliance made up with secondary robots. And in this case, 1165's, I believe this is B? The B Alliance, exactly. This 1165 robot was really good. Yeah, B. This one was really, really good. You will see a little bit the strategy change come out of the 1 seed as they progress through, right? So Plasma's still
playing a little bit of cleaning right in the beginning, but goes right for cones, right? If you remember the match we just watched, they prioritized filling this low link of cubes first before they started in on their high links. I think as the competition progressed and they got more confident, at least in the speed of their high cones, I think, the idea that, like, yeah, we could just fill the entire high link and we're good to go, or the high links, right? I think that really became relevant or evident. I really like that change, but I think it's unique, right? If we look at a lot of the other alliances, they're focusing on doing both, but the 1 seed focuses on, both as in they're getting the, oh no. It's a friendly fire. They also are going for the low links. Plasma's able to carry the rest of this, no problem. Again, nailing these high links. And I imagine after they get this last cone, they go to go for low links, right? Something easy that just throws points on the board. It could be wrong. But certainly powerful. Oh no, they're going right for cones again. Excellent. And I think this what did we say it was? The B alliance. I don't actually know what alliance number they were. Was it 6? Was it 5? No, 6. Was it 6? 6 or 6 maybe? 6, 7? I don't know. I think they played 6. I think, yeah, me too. I think they played really well for, what they had available to them. The reason they upset the 2 seed is because they let the 2 seed beat it themselves, right? And they put up really good scores. Like, they're going to get 94 off of this, which is really respectable, right? And then, you kind of hope for, like, a lot of the time as a lower seed, you hope for the higher seed to mess up. The reason we watched this one in particular is because I just wanted to highlight. I know, I know 2486 kind of fell over there, but it doesn't much change. I wanted to highlight the fact that they altered their strategy throughout playoffs, throughout the event, I suppose, because it was all playoffs, to focus more on these high links and mid links and less on the low, which I thought was very interesting. They also had 9059 basically playing defense from the rip. I believe their every bot intake was not working. I wasn't present at state, like I mentioned earlier, but I know it was doing at least a few pieces then, but they couldn't fully get it to work again at ARL Champ, so they had 959 playing defense. So I think the strategy was really solid. And again, I wanted to highlight, I like that it evolved throughout the event. I think that's really cool. I think if you're in the driver's seat, you really have time you should play with different things and see what's working best. Obviously, if you're on the lower alliance, you really, instead of maybe trying different things, I think you focus on what gets you the most consistent points possible, and then you hope for the higher seed to maybe beat themselves a little bit, which happens. So we can talk about it now. So our first round of three matches is all the way in Series 9. Series 8. We only had 2 series go to a rubber match, and it was in back-to-back series, Series 8 and Series 9. So let's take a look at those. Let's start with Series 8, Match 1. Boom. So Series 8, Match 1. It's the same alliance on the left here, the alliance number 6 versus the second seed alliance. The 5th seed had a huge plan, Braden. I really want to hear all about it, honestly. I really want to hear about most people's coulda, shoulda, wouldas. Like, if we had an opportunity to play this team, we were going to do this. So, from the 2 seeds perspective, our game plan was to have DOF fill the entire high row, and then 498 would kind of fill pieces as we went. We had our high cone working better, just a week before this, or 2 weeks before this, but I'm not sure why things went poorly. But the mid cone was kind of the play, and by the play I mean it was still very inconsistent. But and obviously 9991, like I said, they were the low link filling machine. So this is the one where the 2 seed doesn't get in their own way too much. I believe once we get to the end here, I believe then they lose 2 in a row. Could be wrong. Oops. And shout out to DOF for being so strong in the face of defense adversity. Being able to maneuver in and out of the community, quickly and efficiently as a tank drive was really impressive, and honestly, it was one of the reasons why 498 went with them in the end, was just because of their growth at doing that. So shout out there. Right, so we could see that already. The 6 seed has filled every mid link, which I think was a great strategy, right? Couple of the missed cones, right? One more piece here in the middle would have led to, or 2 more pieces here would have led to a link, which would have been great. But this very consistent mid, like all the mid links done, and then in an ideal world, a triple balance. I like that. I like that out of the 6 seed a lot. I think this was a very smart move, right? We take the links that we are more efficient with, which is mid. Maybe we get a low link. We get the triple balance. And we put a ton of pressure on whoever we're playing to match that. Sure, it's not the high links, right? But it's something that we can attain every time. And that if the other alliance, this is FRC after all, robots do wild things. If the other alliance has any hiccups, right, then we'll take advantage, because we're setting a nice average score, respectable average score. So this first match goes in the 2 seed's favor, and then everything starts to unravel for them, and we can see where kind of the mistakes happened. There we go. So the autos are pretty much the same. 498 missing the cone. What else is new? Except if you watch anything from Beach Blitz, where we made the cone all the time and we missed all the cubes afterwards. Haunting. Lot of cones out there, which I like, by the way. Smart move from the poor Caleb. Smart move from the 6 seed, by the way, littering the field with cones. Definitely 498's order of operation in this situation is to clear the midfield of cubes as fast as possible. So the more that were out there, the more we were going to try to get. So only having one, by filling the field with cones, that lessened the opportunity for half field cycles, basically. So great strategy there. Here comes that bucket. So really good defense. This is what I mean by playing closer, by the way. I don't even know. Is this 99? Jesus. How do I up that res? That helped 0%. Aztec B, excellent. Yes, thank you, chat. Really good defense here, right? Playing in a much more dangerous location than back here, right? By playing up here, it does 2 things. A, it baits the attacking team to slide into your own community, which is where the penalty is drawn, if they're in there and you're trying to go in there, not the other way around. Or it forces contact and forces them to the outside. So this is really good. I mean, to most people, this might look like literally 2 seconds or less, right? 1, 2, 3, perfect. But over the course of a match, that's really, really good. That's really high value. again, 1, 2, 3, 4, like really high value defense in terms of slowing cycle times down. Happening again here on DOF. Right, I know it's definitely hard to keep up because there's so many attackers coming in, but focusing on one and staying with them until they get over, really good. Right, you can see it's already kind of throwing the 2C for a loop. In retrospect, if like for drive coach, like at this point, 498 wise, we've missed a cone in 9 and a cone in 7, right? We call them 1 through 9. So at this point, what we should have done is cut our losses and just fill the low and let DOF finish, a high link or something with 69 seconds left. But we definitely did not, and that was a mistake. Also because 9991 had to e-stock because their sort of modules were acting up on them. So like this right here is probably a mistake. Obviously we make the piece, but in retrospect, I think the 2 seed loses this year because 498 doesn't adapt fast enough to just filling the low and taking the win, right? Filling the low would take the win for sure here, and going for the mid is a little bit riskier, and takes more time because we're definitely slower at cones than we are cubes. Yeah, whole kerfluffle, a whole conglomeration of issues. Right, this falls down. Try to pick it up, score it again, it falls down again. Now it's not even in the low. Now it's in the low. We don't even climb. What a nightmare. What a nightmare. So, but this is what we just talked about. When you're a lower seed, play consistent. You don't necessarily have to play aggressive. You don't have to play aggressive. You don't have to cook up some crate. How do we milk every point possible out of beating the higher seed, right? Sometimes, and it probably doesn't work most of the time, but sometimes you just score really consistent, and then you let the higher seed beat themselves. And in that case, that's exactly what happened. Again, the row of mid links. I don't even know. I can't really tell if there was a mid link that even happened. There must have been because they have 4 links. So they must have been the middle low, right? To the Red Alliance is only 3 links done. 2 high, but this mid got kind of bubbled. Right, and then 1 low. So, yes. As soon as 9991 goes down in the situation, in retrospect, 498 should have hard switched to low, cycling low. And that's my call. Literally, it's my call. And I messed that up. Definitely messed that up. So then we go to the rubber match. Switch over here to the rubber match. Yeah, the West Strat with the Dolphins would have been the thing to switch to, right? They just fill the high, and then we fill all the low. We get a double or a triple. I guess it would be a double in this case, but it would have still been enough because of the high links to beat what the 6 seed was cooking on the other side. Did not read that fast enough. I'm echoing. Oh. Okay. Now I'm not echoing. Sorry about that. One of these days I'll have it all figured out. All right, so then we go to the rubber match of this upper bracket bout between the 6 and the 2 seed. And I honestly don't really remember what happens here. Other than, again, 498 misses the cone. Theme of the day, missed the cone. Okay, I'm glad someone said something. Yeah, you're right. Let's turn back. I I am on a 9991 MVP wagon, but I do just want to shout out the auto that was completely accidental. That was cooked up at Cisa Puede, at SSP a couple weeks before. But yeah, shout out to the cube fling off the bucket lid. Definitely one of my more favorite things that have been done on a robot. Oh, for this one, is this the sparking motor one? Yeah. This was another scary one for 9991 with the sparking wires. I think they kind of realized it right about there. That's why they stopped, and then full on stop. Kind of trying to get back a little bit, but then kind of just opt to. When will 498 learn to just not shoot high cones? Not this season. There's a lot of contact happening here. I believe that the good defense by Aztec B causes a drive chain on DOF to come off, which is what gets them really stuck behind this swerve defense here, and really slows down their cycles. Yep. Yeah, Mason tried his best to get that robot back over here, but it's definitely way more difficult, for sure. Y'all wouldn't believe that, just a week or two earlier, 498 was hitting all these high cones, but it's true. It's true. Actually, and the mid cone. Something weird. Very weird. But, I mean, again, the defense coming in huge here for the 6th seed, and the Aztecs playing it really, really good. Not being too aggressive on a robot that's not really moving well by itself. Kind of just letting them meander, not drawing any penalties. How could I forget this hit? I don't even remember why the 498th robot died here, to be perfectly honest with you. I know there was an impact. I think if I remember correctly. I remember. Well, there's not. Yes. Yeah. Okay, so this was a crazy thing. So if everyone knows the Anderson, right? The battery clip, the literal power wires with the clip that comes off the battery. Yeah. No, it was not the fridge. Our pit fridge is not our power is not tied to the robot. That's a good guess though. So the Anderson on the battery, like inside of the clip, like loosened, like it jiggled, like killed the whole thing. Crazy. That battery got tossed. Was not the fridge. Not the fridge. Although I will say, funny tidbit, the power to our pits at Beach Blitz also died. Our pit row also died over this last weekend. And nobody tried to blame it on the fridge. So, thumbs up. So shout out to, moving on from the fridge, shout out to the 6th seed. Shout out to the 6th seed for taking this upper bracket matchup. Leaving Aztec B leaving robots in their wake, their defensive wake. Every single robot on the 2C is broken here, which is pretty fun. So our other best of 3 in the ARL Championship, which are my favorite things to look at because I like the strategy evolution. Aha! Nate was there. Nate knows. Wasn't us this time. Bebop Brigade. Shout out. Great name, by the way. Great name. All right, so this one. Well, wait. Oh, unfortunately, this match started really far in the cut of it. which happens. So I can sum everything up for you here. The Red Alliance wins. 64-79 scores cones high. I believe this is 1165 C or D. C or D? C or D? D. Thank you. D shoots cubes high to cap those cones, which is a great strat. Get the entire high link done, and then DOFB can do some low paces. So we were kind of scared. 1 seed and 2 seed, both scared of this seed right here. 64-79 became a huge power. Yeah, they were so good. And honestly, the support robots of 1165D and 6413B really added to their firepower. It was awesome. It was like a great combination. But this matchup does go to 3 matches. That's right. They did win state. And that's kind of what I was getting at. Like, maybe if state happened before ARL Alliance selections, things maybe would have panned out differently. I don't know. So obviously match 2 goes the opposite way with... Is this the 4 seed? Who's this? Is this the 4 seed? 3853 was the 5th seed, right? Maybe this is the 4. 7. Oh. Who was the... Bro, I can't keep up with the seeds. Too many events. Too many events. That shot is awesome. That 1165D shot, that's cool. Aztecs are the 4 seed. Okay, 7 versus 4. Yeah. Okay, I'm with it. That's what I thought. 991 was the 3rd seed. That's right. So DOF playing defense here. 1165D kind of doing their job. They score the 3 or 2 cubes high. They start pushing in others. That's right. I think 6479 was having issues with their cone intake here. So they switched a little bit late in. Yeah, Rip Aztecs intake. Yep. To start pushing pieces across the field. They are. Oh, yeah. They just need that one in. Yep, for the link. Very good. Heck yeah. I do like the focus on the lower links here. Now that I say that, 1165D scoring a mid cube there. And they're 1 away from the middle. Yeah, thanks for hanging out. No, we're running a little bit long on our hour. It's fun to watch matches, so I'm here. I'm here for it. There will be a VOD. It'll be up on the YouTube for sure. So who knows if we'll have a mechanic like this in the future. There you go. Nice job, Aztecs, getting that piece in there. So I mean, not a horrible showing from the red. From the red seed, but the blue seed, by the 7 seed actually just balls out to take the lead at the end, right? Even though the Aztecs intake goes down, they still are able to get, or no, they don't, right? No high links done, right? Because this cone is middle, and then they get the 2 low links, which is unfortunate, right? If they would have just been able to cap this 1 high link, they probably win, or they get real close. They get closer. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm glad to see Aztec having great blue cube trick shot. I missed it. I'm here for it. Where? That last one from Westwood? Oh, I see. Yep, off. Yeah, okay. So the arm wasn't fully up yet. I see what happened here, right? It's kind of like a throw. Yeah, okay. Oh. 7703, I don't think they have their motors in brake mode. I was worried they were going to roll off there at the end, but they did good. So very close, right? Very close. Skip ahead to the scores here. 114 to 103. Yeah. Low link stuck in the corner. Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, like multiple pieces in there. So then the rubber match, one more to go. One more. Rubber match, I think, plays out pretty much the same as the first one. You know, this time with Aztec not breaking their intake, you know, halfway in. You know, I gotta say, and I don't know if it's because, let me pause here. I don't know if it's because State was just the week before, but really impressed with the autos at Championship from all the robots. And I know a lot of them didn't compete, right, at State because they were all second robots. But I think that's really cool to see autos happening across the board. So shout out to the programmers. I think I've never said that before, but shout out to the programmers. LOL. Okay. A lot of balances, a lot of taxis. Very good, very good, very good. Oh. Oh, Westwood was moving for a second. I was concerned. Yeah, Braden, I love when my programmers do W and they literally do W and they drive the robot across the field in auto. That's my favorite. Had the wrong controllers. I've been there, literally. Literally been there. Who got airtime? 1165D? Where? Show me again. Oops. I've been seeing this. I don't know if this was super intentional, but we've seen this strategy a lot at Beach Blitz and at Chesy and other off seasons, where like you kind of just you try to toss as many cubes as you can into the community, and then eventually they either get driven into inadvertently, like and pushed in, or it makes it easier for a team to pick them up and cap a link with them. So that's cool. 4 there. I missed the Westwood Air? Where? Where am I? Here? 51 at Beach Blitz, exactly. Yep, exactly. Riding the wave, he said. Great line by Adam. Riding the wave. I gotta tell you, I wasn't a huge fan of that strategy. Our alliance at Beach Blitz wanted to run the dump cubes in approach, and the way I saw it, as long as you're fast enough in and out, you might as well just score them because then you still have to do it later. But I get it if you're a larger robot size or there's just a lot in the midfield, clearing it out real quick. That makes sense a lot to me for sure. Was that a huge hit? What'd I miss? Good old game announcer Adam. So yeah, you're right. So it's the Aztec's arm is back functioning in a way. Oh, is this when? This is when. This is kind of funny. We all can giggle later now that it's done. This is when the Aztec wrist. I think there was maybe an encoder issue, but it starts to just do this flick thing over and over again, just like over and over again, even when it's down. I'm not sure. It's kind of tweaking out a little bit there. Fixed by a bunch of duct tape. That's our approach. Yeah, was the encoder. That was my guess from just watching it. Yeah, but listen, arms freaking out or wrist is freaking out. They still push that cone in for a link. It's actually huge, right? The housing. We got pulleys, we got shafts, we got spacers all over the field. Sounds like it was a mess out there. Bing, bong, triple. So it ended up being a lot closer than we all thought it was going to be there in the middle of the game, right? Red Alliance missing the triple balance definitely pulled it within 11 points, yeah? Hindsight is always so 2020, right? But I believe Blue is one away from a low link right down here, or here, sorry. And they have two cubes here. So, one less double scored piece there, one more piece there. The score gets a lot closer. If they were able to cap this high link here, score gets a lot closer. So, I by the end of it, it could have gone anyone's way, especially with red missing the triple balance here. But those were our matches that went to the rubber, that went to the third. And then finals. I know we're going over time here, at least the scheduled time, but finals were a hoot. Especially if you were involved or if you were a participant. So finals, pretty much I would from both alliances' perspective, the strategy never changed between matches, and for most of the day. We talked about the one seed adapting from running low to kind of focusing on the high and mid. The 2 seed never changed their strategy from the beginning, mostly because we had practiced it a very particular way, and so we kind of just stuck with it. I believe this is the one and only time that the 498 auto at least hits 2 of the 3, which is as good a time as any, I suppose. As you'll remember if you were there in person, there was a little bit of a scoring snafu out of auto, which is what led to some of the delays and restructuring there at the end.
1 point difference going, 31 to 26 is the difference.
Right, it's kind of a weird thing.
Defense, all 3 blue robots scoring. Score for the Blue Alliance, up high, on the mid and low.
Right, everyone is staying. No one's pulling out anything different. The big wild card here is how effective could 9059's defense be, right? And they were just a little bit too slow, I think, to really slow too much down. Right, good valiant effort, but it's a little bit too slow. Plasma's after the high links, DOF's after the high links, the coconuts are after the mid links. 498 was after the mid links. And then really the secret weapon the 2 seed had the whole time was 9991. Really, like I said, it's just what we determined would be the MVP ended up becoming the MVP. It was our basically our secret weapon here. Shout out to the 498 human player for falling asleep at the wheel and not seeing his own robot drive right past him here. This is awkward. Belongs in the FRC meme vault. Just here waiting. Vibing. Just vibing. Hit the wall. Yeah, there it is. Hee. The reason why it's so close is both teams are kind of doing the same thing. If anything, at the end, Blue starts to pull away because of the low links that we're able to that are being done. But in return, we are doing 2 of the mid links, whereas the 1 seed is getting those mid links done as well. So, bro was snoozing. He was really snoozing. He had a tough job. He had to throw cubes in the bucket, throw cubes on the ground. But nonetheless, he was snoozing.
1 robot
So this was bad. So, again, probably my fault, as it is my call, right? So we all live and learn. But what happened here is that because the scores were so close, and it was 10 seconds left, so at the time it made sense. Regan did invent a new dance move. Yep. We were missing this cone right here, as in the 2 seed. His cone was sticking out. So I made the call to have our driver drive off and push that cone in. Unfortunately, it took a little bit longer than I thought, and then the balance there at the end did not quite happen the way we wanted it to. Obviously, with some field delays, scores being pushed a couple times, the 2 seed ended up on top. But if I could take that one back, assuming the points, so like if the points that were missing were there, I probably would not have had him drive off and push that piece in, right? Like, yeah, the 3 on the bridge are not normally centered, yeah. I probably would have let that piece go, right? We're talking about a 7-point difference, but it probably gets made up by all 3 robots balancing correctly, right? So, in retrospect, bad call on my end, but probably would not have made that call if the scores were any better, because I looked up at the end to check. But so then finals 2, right? Oops. Auto hits similarly for everyone, right? Mid cone for 498, high cube for 9991, high cone for DOF, high cube for plasma, mid cube for the coconuts, and a taxi for 9059. Unfortunately, Plasma's auto does clip the bridge, so they unfortunately do not go get their second piece. But at least they're not in contact with the bridge at the end of auto. Oh, that's a good point, Brayden. I need to change the banner. Yeah, thanks for the reminder. I would have absolutely just forgotten that. I will change the banner. Absolutely. So if you're wondering right now why it's quiet, it's because we got copyrighted. So maybe the music will come back at some point. I promise it's on. 498 was a little bit faster here than normal. Normally, we miss this cone. We miss at least 1 or 2 of these mid cones trying to get this mid link, but luck was a little bit on our side there. We actually made that one off the rip. Right, Mason and DOF did a great job here. The plan with the defense of the midfield, right? Obviously, the elephant in the room with 64-13 was that they were tank drive, right? And it's easier to defend tank than it is to defend swerve. Doesn't make it impossible. Like, it's obviously 498 still wanted to pick DOF. But the idea here was that we were always going to send 64-13 out wide to pull that defender wide, because the worst case that would happen is that DOF tries to take the short lane but gets stuck here, and then since everybody's trying to take this lane, it slows down 9991 and 498. So right, and we wanted to really, like I said, enable as best as possible 9991 because they were our low link filler. They had the most pieces, the second most pieces to score in an ideal world. So by having the tank drive funnel themselves outside, sure, maybe it cuts their piece average down by a couple, but it lets us get in freely for the most part, and just reduce traffic jams. Meanwhile, again, shout outs to 2403 for pretty much doing everything they can, filling the high links across the board. No, is the short answer, Braden. It does. Oh, so this was weird. I know. Braden, I'm coming back to your question. So I wanted to address this. We had a little bit of weird field stuff happen, at least with the coconuts and 498 in this exact instance. Both of our robots kind of go on the frizzy here. That's why 498 drives into the community. And, like, we, like, lose control of it for a second. So there was a little bit of weird radio stuff going on there. Quickly got control back again, and so did the Coconuts. And so we started up the cycles again, but weirdly drove into the community because, like, literally just lost control there. It was like lagging or frizzing out or something. Obviously, the other elephant in the room for this particular match is why is 9991 not moving? Well, they were disabled. Long story. Or they disconnected and then were disabled. I don't really remember the whole deal, what happened there. So that's why. So this time correctly made the switch. So once I noticed that 9991 was down, immediately switched to just running low links. This is why it was lucky that in this case we were already, like, we didn't miss any cones for our mid link because it was done. Whereas if you remember the previous example where I should have made the switch faster, we hadn't finished the mid link. So, like, we were still trying to actively make that. Because in this case the mid link was done, we were able to switch to just cycling low queues, which we feel is kind of our wheelhouse. And so that's why that switch was easier. We made that switch faster this time around. Right. Yeah, disconnected first and then weirdly and then accidentally disabled there at the end. Yep. But it was a really tough finals. I feel as the 2 seed captain, I feel like that, you know, we had a secret weapon in 9991 when they fell to us, even, you know, as a swerve robot, we were ecstatic, and, you know, them being willing to work with us and add the bucket made us even more excited. So, you know, I attribute this win pretty much to their willingness to play with, to add the bucket, basically, and the luck of them falling to us. To answer your question, Braden, the slamming into it for the cone is necessary for us. We found that if we drove into the cone too slowly, the cone wouldn't go back into the manipulator as far, and then we weren't shooting as far. So we really put emphasis on driving with speed into the human player stations to get the cones. And it never really hurt the manipulator, actually. It was kind of fine the whole time. You know, those stations are made out of pliable plastic for a reason. So they bend a little bit. Beach Blitz, for our robot, nothing really changed. You know what we struggled a lot with at Beach Blitz was the temperature changes. So in the morning, so at the event they had the doors open and no AC on, right? So in the morning, like when the event would start in the morning, the temperature would be very cool, right? Like cool enough you wear a sweatshirt, and therefore the cones were firmer. And then as you progress throughout the day, the temperature would increase to a, I'm going to be honest, miserable level. It was very thick in there by midday and into the early evening. The cones were getting much more pliable and very soft. So a design drawback of shooting the cones for us all season had been the variability in cone firmness. And so it was really exacerbated at Beach Blitz because the temperature changes, right? We would hold them firm, like we have a firmer grip, they'd go farther, a softer grip, they wouldn't go as far. So that definitely played havoc for us. We didn't really change anything too much intake or cube wise. If you watched any of it and were like, wow, their autos suck, well, they did. We struggled a lot with variances in we were using the April tags and we were like picking up weird blips with the vision, which was causing some alignment issues on the second and third piece. And then we were having this weird issue that we still can't explain, where after our first path was completed in the code, like it would pause. Like the Robo Rio, whatever, the code would pause for like 2 seconds, and then it would go to the next path. There was nothing there. It would just complete path 1 and then pause itself before path 2, and then would not happen again between path 2 and path 3, path 4, path 5, right? So what was happening was, after we scored the cone, like our cone auto, we drive across the line, that's the end of path 1. So then it would freeze, and the robot would keep going, and then it would unfreeze, and the path 2 would think the robot is where it's supposed to be at the end of path 1, but it wasn't. It was further, right? It was further because it I don't know, had a brain freeze, and that's why we kept driving across the line. This is First Robotics, yeah. It's FRC, 2006. That's before my time. So I don't remember what was the FRC. 2007 was Lunacy. 2005 was what was 2006? Rack and Roll? Is that 2005? Aim High? Is that 2006? Someone Google it. What was the FRC game in 2006? Wasn't Lunacy. Wasn't Overdrive. Wait, Lunacy was 2009. 2000. Aim High. Is that what I said first? Did I say Rack and Roll? So it was Rack and Roll 2005? Whatever. Yeah, we're talking about That's wild. I was also on Team 1011. It's a small world. I went to that high school from 2000. I'm going to date myself. I was on... That's a small world. That's a very small world. Yeah. I was on 1011 from 2011 to 2012 as a student. And then a mentor for 2013 to 2018. Huh. Well, small world. You know, a lot of people, one of the comment people make about Tucson is Tucson's as a really small world, small city. That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, I guess we all went to... what a fun time. What a fun connection on Twitch. So this is... so we're the Arizona Robotics League. We run a bunch of off-season FRC events. So we're looking at... Our championship just happened a few weeks ago. And now we're kind of just shooting the... Talking about other things. Yeah, so Beach Blitz was a little tough for us. We had a weird Robo Rio brain freezes. In the first match we lost in playoffs, that knocked us to the lower bracket. We drove across the field in auto, trying to balance. And the Robo Rio, same thing. It froze after path 1, and then we were on the other side of the field. Which is, as you can imagine, I'm sure embarrassing. Especially in playoffs. Yeah. We did break the field at one point at Beach Blitz. Nate was not mad. The head ref was not pleased, but Nate was fine. So, and honestly, we were just the straw that broke the camel's back on that situation. Everybody else had been running into it all day, I guess including us. So we just kind of added to the problem. But, anywho, it was the fridge. It was the fridge. It's the safety shield for a reason. That's why it's there. Fridge might not make a return appearance in 2024. Those pit carts are on their last legs anyway. They were not rigid enough for travel. Fridge might be on its way out. There's a chance the newer pit will have a fridge in it. We do like the fridge. It is nice. It does suck some power. Yeah. The fridge is well known across all of FRC Robotics. Same thing happened at Champs. Caused a lot of field faults. Anywho, I guess that's kind of our time here tonight. Again, thank you everyone for tagging along this season. If you've graduated this year and you're going to school locally, I hope you're having a great first semester. And I hope that you come back for ARL next season and can volunteer or at least come watch. I'm already looking forward to. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna take a few weeks off of not thinking about ARL, but then I'm gonna think about it and be very excited. Yeah, awesome, Nate. Yeah, Nate's our MVP FTA, of course, as always. But looking forward to next year. It's going to be even better. Again, the main focus of year 3 is consistency. We're hoping to continue to grow in team participation again this year. So if you aren't already planning to attend ARL with your team, might want to start the conversation now. The more you go to, the better it is, I believe. Awesome. I'm glad. I mean, ARL is definitely something that we've been kind of dreaming up for a long time, and we finally had the opportunity to do something like it, and we're definitely not looking back now. And I will say that, talking to people outside of Arizona, other people, other regions are excited about it, and they have a lot of praise for it and are jealous of it. So we are definitely doing something unique here, and I hope everyone is happy to be along for the ride. So this show will be available probably tomorrow on YouTube if you need to rewatch. And I don't know why you would rewatch, but if you're watching us on YouTube right now, thanks for tuning in. Definitely make sure to go to the YouTube and subscribe. We'll have all of our off-season YouTube shows uploaded there if you don't catch them live. Also, all of the matches from the ARL Championship are now uploaded there, so you can go ahead and watch them. And then check out the ARL on our Instagram, Arizona Robotics League, and on our x.com. We also can connect on Facebook if you'd like, and we do have a Discord. The Discord is awesome. It's a great place to hang out. I'm hoping it gets a lot of use here in the last little bit of the off season, and then a lot during the regular season. It's really a great tool to use. I'm excited to talk about the upcoming or the game announcement after it's released. We may do a deep dive on the game itself, the week of kickoff. Haven't done one of those yet, but I think it'd be a fun thing to do, kind of get everyone's opinion on what they're excited about and maybe what kind of robot archetypes we see for the next season. Also, I definitely want to do some more history deep dives. We had one episode this season, or at least in the last 4 months, where we looked at Rebound Rumble 2012. Definitely looking to do that some more. So expect one of those maybe in December. I actually think I know the photo you're talking about. The game, I honestly haven't even seen the teaser. Not that the teaser ever gives away much. I don't really like the pick and place games, to be honest with you. I know we had a lot of shooting games in a row, but I like them. They're fun. I think they're more eye appealing. Water game. Listen, with with the number of electrical issues 498 dealt with this summer and fall, I think a water game really scares me. So, might stay away from the water game. Or if you want to go play in the water, go build a robot submarine, and go do NERC. Okie dokie, everyone. Well, I'm going to play us out. I really cooked up something special today. I know if you were here before the episode started, I cooked up a little Wii Shot music. It was great meeting you as well. I can't believe Sonoran Science Academy alum just in our presence. What a small world. Thank you everyone for hanging out tonight and for the whole season. I'm looking forward to the next one. Again, hang out in our Discord. That's it. That's all I got for y'all. See you next season. Bye-bye.